right, it's the Bank On It podcast coming back for episode number 24. Shout out to Jamal Mashburn, arguably the greatest University of Kentucky Wildcat basketball player of all time.
My all-time favorite.
Randy's all-time favorite, definitely up there on my list. And we are, as always, presented by the Appalachian newspapers. And with me is regional sports editor Randy White, and behind the camera, Corey Vance, the human Swiss Army knife, making it all happen. And we're, as always, brought to you by City Tire and Auto Center. City Tire and Auto Center has moved. Go visit their new location at 110 Freddie Lane, right off the South Mayo Trail, directly across from Pikeville Floral, or give them a call at 606-437-3005.
We're also brought to you by Cedar Creek, Presbyterian Homes of Cedar Creek and Good Shepherd at Phelps. If you're looking for quality care for loved ones, look no further than Presbyterian Homes of Cedar Creek and Good Shepherd at Phelps. Both facilities treat your loved ones with care and respect. They offer therapy, daily activities, exquisite cuisine, and home-like settings to make your family members feel at home. Call to schedule an appointment today. At Cedar Creek, call Jessica Thacker at 432-8243. And at Good Shepherd, call 456-8725. Caring for your loved ones is what we do best.
And thank you to the City of Pikeville Tourism. You can go to their website and check out all the things going on in the City of Pikeville, which is a lot for this summer. And you can visit their website at www.visitpikeville.com. And we are currently sitting in the heart of it all at the plaza at the Eastern Kentucky Expo Center. It's Happy Hillbilly Days week to everybody. Off to our right a little bit, you can see the carnival getting set up. A lot of vendors coming into town. It's a crazy week.
It's starting to get busy. I mean, this is what a lot of people are looking forward to this time of year.
Yeah, it's a big week for all of us in the service industry for sure, and then just really for all of the businesses in downtown Pikeville. It's prime time for everybody, so we're all getting set up for it and looking forward to a big week. And speaking of big weeks, just a beautiful segue on my part. I wanted to point that out. 15th region baseball and softball just wrapping up.
Wrapped up. Last Friday at Paintsville was the finals. We'll look at the boys first. Pikeville, they came away with a 7-3 to win over Sheldon Clark in the championship Friday night. Just a big offensive output. 7 runs. Drake Potter hits an RBI triple early on to get Pikeville going. Later on, Connor Roberts homers just to put Pikeville over the top. I mean, just a good showing from a young Pikeville team with the first-year head coach Shane Simpkins. Pikeville had, their pitching was there. They did just enough there to keep Sheldon Clark at bay. And Sheldon Clark getting to the championship was a little bit of an upset because a lot of people thought it was going to be Pikeville-Paintsville championship. But Sheldon Clark found a way to beat Paintsville in that semifinal. And, Paintsville, they were the defending 15th region champions and the defending 15th region All-A champions as well. So, a lot of people thought this was Paintsville's to lose, and, you got to give credit to Sheldon Clark, who found a way to win, and then you got to give Pikeville credit as well to win that championship and move on and host a regional against the 16th region.
And it was the Pikeville Panthers really sweeping the whole thing, the girls too, huh?
Girls too, and the impressive thing about the girls in my book is first-year coach in Brandy Jo Howard.
Yeah.
But then you look at the roster, 4 seniors, 3 of them are playing, 1 of them's injured right now, and then no juniors, no sophomores, 7 freshmen, and 5 8th graders, and 4 7th graders. So, I mean, you basically got a freshman and down. A lot of teams would say that's a JV squad, but these girls can play. I mean, and you look at their lineup, they can hit 1 through 9. Pitching, they go 3 pitchers deep. Emily Ford is one of the best in the region, if not the top pitcher in the region. And just an impressive win over a good Paintsville team with Anna Keaton, which, we've talked about Anna Keaton during basketball season. Just a great little athlete. Had a good showing on the mound, but Pikeville was just, they were a little bit too much for them. Yeah, so Pikeville, they wrapped up that 15th region for the 6th straight region championships for a softball team, which is, unheard of, Wes.
Well, and with such a young team, I mean, you expect to see lots of good stuff coming down the road for the Pikeville Lady Panthers. So again, congratulations to the Pikeville Lady Panthers softball team and the Pikeville Panthers baseball team. Congratulations on those All-A championships. And all right, stick around, check out some of the highlights from the boys and the girls 15th region All-A tournament.
15th Region All-A champions. I know it feels pretty good.
It does, and this is a big step for us. You know, new coach with a new team. You know, we've talked about some things, and tonight we finally put together a full game, and that's what we've been preaching to these guys about, to trust the process, you know, trust the grind. It's a long year, and this was kind of we talked to them, this was the first 3 games that mattered for us. You know, up to this point, we're practice games preparing us for this, and we finally put it together when it mattered.
Coach Grayson Harris pitched a complete game in the win.
He did, and he stepped up huge for us. You know, we had an injury. We found out Wednesday morning that we lose Tate Lakin. You know, he gets put in a cast, and that was you know, it could have been a big blow for us. Our guys were thinking he was going to throw tonight, and Grayson was going to throw last night, and when we found that out, we went straight to Grayson and told him, you know, we're pushing you back a day. We're going to try to survive and get to the finals and let you work. And man, you know, we couldn't ask anything else of him. He stepped up in a big situation and threw a great game for us. He competed in the zone. We didn't walk anybody, and we made routine plays. You know, it's like we talked to him about. It's a marathon and not a sprint. You know, we got to take it one day at a time and get better every day. We got to compete when we you know, have chances to compete. We do it in practice a lot, and then, you know, it translates to the game. But, you know, I think now we get a chance to host a sectional for a chance to go play in the Final 8, and, you know, you can't ask for anything, you know, other than that. And we just, you know, got to try to get back at it again Monday.
big win out there. I mean, you know, coming out and getting those early runs, that gave Emily a little bit of a relief, it seemed like. You know, she had a couple of insurance runs. Just talk about how big that was to get out to that quick start, because, you know, you had 5 in a row and this is the 6th. I mean, just talk about how big that is.
Oh, that was huge, and that was our goal from the start, was just to jump on them early and get a lead, and so that it wouldn't be as much pressure on our pitcher, Emily Ford, who pitched an amazing game, and she always does. She executes. But our hitters, they did well in the box. They went out looking for good pitches and whenever they saw their pitch, they drove it. So that's our goal. And then we was aggressive on the bases, so I thought we did really good there. I'm so proud, and, you know, I tell my girls, we have to have solid defense behind our pitcher, and just to see Hannah come out and do that, I think it got everybody excited and the momentum, and that was a huge out for, you know, us against Paintsville, because they started making contact. So I was really proud of her, and I'm just proud of all these girls for all their hard work and dedication. Coming in, I know it would be a rebuilding year. We have 4 seniors, and actually one of our seniors, who is our shortstop and cleanup hitter, has a torn meniscus, so she's out right now. You know, we just come out here and try to play for her, because we know she'd love to be on the field, so that's what I tell them. Every time you're on the field, give it 110%, because you never know when it might be your last day. But yeah, these leaders, the seniors, are great for the young girls, and just how they show and act and give it all, I think it rubs off, and it's like a ladder all the way down. So
yeah, just talk about your hitters too. I mean, most lineups, there's a place where you can get an easy out here or there. This lineup, I don't think there's any easy outs. Just talk about how big that is, because, you know, there's always the next hitter. You know, if something goes wrong, there's always the next girl can follow.
All right, now I have confidence 1 through 9, and I also have players on the bench. I mean, an 8th grader, Emily Atkins, come out and got a clutch hit for us, you know, in the 7th inning, so I was really proud of her. And we worked on hitting a lot in the off season, and it's starting to show, so I'm really just proud of them, and not only their physical game but their mental game. So
last thing, and I'll let you go. Going to Owensboro, how big is this for this team's confidence? You know, a young team this early in the season, you're 3 weeks in and you're going to a state tournament. That's unheard of. I mean, just talk about how big this is for this team's confidence.
It's huge, and, you know, we're ready to go down there. We know we're going to face some good competition, but we're ready. We prepared. We went to spring break on Pigeon Forge and faced some really good teams, so we always try to play up, so that makes us better, and I think we're ready.
All right, thank you again to our sponsors, Presbyterian Homes of Cedar Creek and Good Shepherd at Phelps, City Tire and Auto Center of Pikeville, and visit pikeville.com. And then typically we're recording the podcast on Monday, so today's Tuesday. We're doing it a little bit later this week, so we get to talk about the big game last night, which is, you know, it's kind of sad for me because college basketball season coming to an end. Yeah. But the national championship game was last night, and the Virginia Cavaliers did what I certainly didn't think they could do.
No, not many people did, I don't think.
Pulling out a big national championship win against Texas Tech.
The thing we've always said is you can't trust Virginia.
Yeah.
Now you can trust Virginia.
Well, it seems that way.
I mean, now you can trust them. There's no higher form of trust than winning a national championship. And, you know, I read a lot of stuff last night on social media. They're saying it was a boring game, this and that. I thought it was an incredible game. I mean, I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good time watching the game. I anticipated a boring game. I mean, these are two defensive teams that are kind of known for the defense that they play. So it seemed to me it was going to be a somewhat of a boring game to watch, but I actually was entertained the whole time. Went into overtime, came right down to the wire, except, you know, Virginia kind of took control in overtime. Yeah. But, you know, congrats on to Texas Tech on getting there. And my opinion, Chris Beard is going to have a lot of options this offseason if he wants to leave Lubbock.
He's got to be the hottest coach in America right now. He's made a name for himself. Taking that Texas Tech team to the national championship game, incredible. Nobody saw this coming. I mean, Texas Tech was, you know, an afterthought in that Big 12 this year, and then they got hot at the right time. They play great defense. Right. I mean, they switch it up so well on defense. You never really know what they're doing. They can hide their zone in a man coverage and all that. So just a great day for Texas Tech and a great season for them.
Yeah, it really was. And, I mean, even for, like, you know, hardcore college basketball fans like us, I mean, I was aware of Texas Tech all year, but thinking that they would get to the national championship game, I just never saw it.
No, I didn't either. But, you know, and the thing is, you hear this UCLA job opening up now.
Rick Barnes turned it down.
Yeah. Who would be your natural your second choice now if you're UCLA. Mine would be Beard. I mean, you know, the guy's probably going to have so many opportunities. It's probably, if he wants to stay in Lubbock, I'm sure that, you know, they'll welcome him there for what he's built up. But I'm sure he'll have so many opportunities he can pick where he wants to go.
Yeah, he definitely earned himself a wherever he decides to, whether it's staying at Texas Tech or going elsewhere. He definitely probably earned himself a lot of money.
Oh, absolutely.
With this postseason run this year.
And you know, you got to give Virginia credit. You know, early on they jumped out to a 10-point lead, and Texas Tech fired back, cut it to. They might even led at halftime. I think Texas Tech had a 3-point lead at halftime.
They did.
Virginia comes back and gets another 10-point lead in the second half. And, you know, at the end, they have to find a way to send it into overtime. They have to hit that big 3.
Yeah.
They could have folded right there. 2 times being up by 10 in the game, that's tough when you lose those leads like that. But then in overtime, they came out and just handled business.
Well, and you know, the big storyline was coming off of last year where, you know, University of Virginia, first time a 16 seeds ever beat a 1 seed, not just beat a 1 seed, they got ragdolled by University of Maryland, Baltimore County. I think they beat them by 20 plus.
They did.
So, I mean, it was quite a comeback story for Virginia, and they almost got beat twice in this tournament. Almost got beat by Purdue. I can't remember what round that was in. And arguably in the Auburn game, which to me we haven't had a chance to talk about this much, the foul call was a good foul call to me.
The foul call is, you know, to me, when I hear people saying it shouldn't have been a foul, it's a foul all day.
It was a
to me, if you're going to complain about a call, it should have been the double dribble.
100%.
But live, I didn't see that.
No.
Live, I didn't know. Like, when they slow it down and on the replay, I saw it then, obviously. But live, that's a hard call. So, you know, it's a tough pill to swallow if you're an Auburn fan. But, I mean, you got to call that foul, I think.
Yeah, you got to call the foul in the corner. He made contact with the shooter with his body. And as far as the double dribble goes, the guy that should have been called on did a great job selling. He didn't hesitate. He acted completely natural, and that probably
just kept going. I mean, and that's what you got to do in that situation. I mean, sleight of hand, I didn't even see it. I did not see it live until they slowed it down on the instant replay. No clue it was a double dribble.
And the only thing that I keep thinking is I really believe Kentucky could have beat either one of these
I
teams.
do too. I mean, as a Kentucky fan, that's what hurts. Yeah. Because, you know, we should have won that Auburn game. I mean, whether we want to say we should have won that.
Yeah, and I just, you know, and we had talked about this before, but I loved our chances against Virginia. As far as Texas Tech goes, I just think Kentucky could have beat either one of these teams, but, you know, that's a that's the way it goes.
As a Kentucky fan, the thing coming up now is the draft. How many guys are going to go? How many guys are going to come back? That's the question. I mean, I think this year might be it might be similar to last year. I think there's some names that might come back that you might not expect.
Well, I hope so. And going off what P.J. Washington did, I mean, P.J. Washington didn't by any means have a good freshman year. I mean, he had flashes of what we saw this year, but he really came back and just improved tenfold and was, you know, an All-American this year. So hopefully a lot of the guys take note of what he did and, you know, just work hard in the off season. And I saw last night Kentucky's still the second. It was Duke and Kentucky were second favorite to win next year's national championship behind Virginia.
Yeah, and you know, as a Kentucky fan, you know, this season is one of those seasons that you really enjoy this team because you got to watch these kids grow up from that awful first game of the season against Duke. Well, it wasn't really the first game, but, you know, it was the first game that mattered.
First big game.
The first game that mattered. You get to see this team grow up and then have a chance to be in the Final Four and even have a shot at you know, losing in the Elite Eight is nothing to be, you know, disappointed about. You know, sometimes the only thing that hurts is we knew we probably should have beat Auburn. That's the only thing in my mind.
Yeah, a team that we beat with relative ease in the regular season, and then me personally just stemming all the way back to the Tennessee days, hate losing to Bruce Pearl.
Oh, I do too. I mean, anything Bruce Pearl does, I'm not a fan of. I know he can coach. I know he's a character and he's charismatic, and, you know, he's everything everybody says he is, but I still don't like him.
Yeah, I mean,
anytime anybody has that any kind of association with Tennessee, I don't like them.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to make a Kentucky fan hate you is have any association whatsoever with Tennessee, Duke. I'm like that with Florida. I mean, so there's a handful of teams that if you associate with those teams, generally I'm going to have a lot of dislike for you. But, you know, again, congratulations to the Virginia Cavaliers. I mean, they earned it. You know, and we'll see what happens next year. I mean, they got a lot of guys. I think they've only got a couple of seniors. They're probably going to lose some guys to the NBA, but they've got a lot of guys that will probably be back again next year, and we'll see what happens. Now we enter, you know, kind of a dead zone for guys like us who love football, love basketball. I mean, we'll obviously keep up with the Reds. We'll be talking some Reds baseball down the road once they actually start playing baseball.
I think somebody forgot to tell them the season started.
Yeah, it's been tough so far. So, all right, something that's a little bit new to our area. Obviously, it's been gaining momentum everywhere else, especially on the collegiate level and to some degree professional, is esports. And then what you have a story coming out on is bass fishing.
Bass fishing. I went up to Pike Central last week, and you know, this is their second year. They started up a bass fishing team up there at the school last year. Got 4 kids qualified to go to nationals. Colin Lester, Jarrett Branham, Colton Sloan, and Jared Lowe, they've all qualified to go to nationals. You know, it's a sport. Last year, sitting down talking to the kids, and you know, you can hear in some of our interviews coming up, but you know, it's a sport that even from last year to this year has grown. They're talking about 20 boats in the water sometimes last year to over 200, right around 250 this year. So the growth of this sport is crazy. I mean, and you know, a lot of this stuff is all the students too. I mean, they kind of came up with the idea to start this thing. So got to give a shout out to those kids at Pike Central for the job they done. And you know, they got 12 kids on a bass fishing team, Wes. I mean, it's crazy.
And we know that fishing in our area and Appalachia in general is popular, but it's a pretty cool way for some of these kids to be able to represent their school in something, you know, beyond the traditional sports. So be on the lookout for more coverage on bass fishing and esports, and check out the interviews with some of the coaches and the fishermen, I guess,
the fishermen,
from the Pike Central bass fishing team. Check it out.
I think it's a really good opportunity for our school. I mean, it puts us out there, and for us to just pick up on the sport, it's kind of a big thing, you know, where we just started.
Yeah, where y'all just started going to nationals is you know, a big deal. I mean, that's huge. Just talk about how exciting that is. You know, first, second year of bass fishing here at the school, going to nationals.
It was pretty exciting for sure. I mean, the first tournament really was placing 7th out of 152 boats. I mean, that's pretty big. And then, what did you guys get?
We got 12th out of 240-some boats. Well, it's really grown since we started. When we first started, I think there was 6 or 7 of us that started this whole group, and now there's somewhere between 10 and 12 of us now. So, when we first started tournaments, there was probably 20 boats that showed up. Now you're looking at 240 boats against us.
How cool was that experience, you know, knowing you be a part of a team by fishing?
I think that's why we started it, really, is because we all wanted one.
Yeah.
And we decided to talk to the principal, and that's why we got set up, because we all grew up fishing.
I've wanted a team ever since I was in grade school. I thought it'd be a great idea. I've seen where colleges have teams, and then I've always wondered how, I mean, if you're going to go pro, how could you do that?
Yeah.
So high school and college is a good 2 steps to going pro.
I'm extremely proud of these boys, and the big thing about it is that this sport actually opens up a whole new venue of organized sports for boys. It's not just, you know, being part of the football, basketball, baseball team. These are boys that's taken their love of their outdoors and of their hobbies, and they've turned it into a sport, and it was student generated. They're the ones that basically lobbied the school and lobbied Mr. Taylor and Mr. Lyons to actually get this going. And when it did, I applied and we got it, and I literally was a fish out of water last year. I did not have a clue what we were doing, finding tournaments to get them in, and it's been a learning process this year. And in that year, they fished, you know, local tournaments, and then they've actually gotten into the big fishing tournaments with the FLW and the Student Angler Federation.
We're really proud of them. It's you want to add as many opportunities as you can for kids to participate outside the classroom. Yeah. The more things that you get them involved in, the more ownership they have in the school. And when they approached me about starting a bass fishing team, I was like, well, I guess. You know, I didn't know anything about it. I like to fish, but I wouldn't call myself a fisherman. And then we started looking into it. Talked to Miss Ray about it, talked to the boys about it, and it's like, well, let's give it a shot. You know, worst thing that could happen is it falls apart in the air, and we'll say that was fun and move on. But man, they just took off. They really took off. You know, good coaches, good kids, you know, active parents, things like that. It's been a great experience. I mean, to think that, you know, we just started this up and then now we've got some going to nationals, it's pretty special.
Well, last year when it started, we started with 12 boys. That was the inaugural team. And this year coming on, 2 of the inaugural team, they had other things that they were doing this year. They participated last year and they had other conflicts this year. So they're not with us, but we actually had new ones to come on board this year. We've got 13. We've had about a couple of boys that have actually transferred from other schools. They decided that this year that they wanted to come. They had heard about our bass fishing team and they wanted to come and to become part of it, and we've got that. And the other thing is really just the energy with it. Since we've started it, we've seen other schools in the area that are basically saying that they're wanting to start a bass fishing team. And so that's what we're seeing. The ones that I've seen them with, the only school that I'm really familiar with that I've seen that they've done is in neighboring counties, Pike Central. They seem to have one that's been organized and their boys do very well, their anglers do, and they've been established for a few years. And these boys have came on the scene, and then just in this year and a half, they're rivaling Pike Central. It is. You just basically just have to dive in. Like I said, last year I was that fish out of water, and we just basically had to come in, get with the Student Angler Federation and looking to see where there were tournaments. And when they first started going last year, when they went to the regional tournament for the first time, they actually found out about a series, the Kentucky Bass Nation East, that they will be in. And that's the one where they were only able to fish 2 tournaments last year out of 4, and our boys were placing with those rival schools. This year we're starting, and they'll be in all 4 tournaments, and we're hoping that they'll bring home the #1 spot.
I've had a lot of other administrators reach out to me and say, you know, how'd you get this bass fishing team started? I said, I really don't know. I said, I just signed the paperwork. I said the coaches and the kids, they really, you know, took to it and they handle it well. I sign their travel forms and things, and they go on and they make it happen. But it's definitely raised a lot of interest in not just our county but our region, because, like I said, it offers an avenue to kids that aren't your football players. They're not your band members. They're not, you know, you're on the academic team, but it gets them involved in school, something they love to do. You know, I would love to have had an opportunity like that when I was in high school. You know, I might have been a better fisherman now. I could, but it's just a way to get more kids involved, and that's always a good thing. And there's a lot of low-hanging fruit that sometimes we don't grab, and this is one of those. There's a lot of money out there for these kids to further their education and to move on. Whereas, you know, I don't think we've got any NBA players. You know, I don't know that we've got any NFL players, but you know, to be able to go to college and do this and maybe make a profession out of it. You know, there's a lot of opportunity out there for them, and they've definitely shown that they can compete at high levels.
Anytime that anyone's got a passion to do something, they just need to get out and do it, because this was the boys. They're the ones that came up with this. They wanted to do it, and we just, you know, we jumped right in. And last year we tried as best we could, but this year we were more organized, and we've already started off on a great year, and we're only hoping that it's going to get better.
All right, and coming up this week is, which I think is kind of tradition around this time of year, is the 16th annual Lindell Potter softball tournament down at Pikeville High School.
Yeah, every year they do the Lindell Potter Memorial. They always do a opening ceremony Friday evening. The whole Pikeville team wears number 18 in honor of Lindell. That was her number.
Right.
They all wear a purple jersey. Purple was her favorite color, so they honor her that way. So it's just a great tournament to keep Lindell's memory alive. And, you know, we're going to have a story coming up in Thursday's News Express, you know, featuring, you know, previewing the tournament a little bit and talking a little bit about Lindell and some of the things that she did when she was alive and why this tournament means so much to the folks down Pikeville.
Right, so be on the lookout for that, and we'll, I'm sure, have coverage, some interviews, and some stories coming up next week after the tournament ends on that. So be on the lookout, check it out, and again, thank you again for joining us for episode number 24 of the Bank On It podcast. Happy Hillbilly Days week to everybody. Get out and enjoy the festivities around downtown Pikeville, and have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.